All right, everybody, so today we are talking about laws of exponents. Go ahead and work on your warm-up. Which expression is equivalent to 4 square root of 147? All right, so easiest way, honestly, to do this, guys, yes, you could do all the work to find out which one simplifies to this, but easiest way to do it is to type this into your calculator and find the decimal that matches. So what I mean by that is type in 4 and then control x squared so you can get the square root 147. Enter. And you're looking for the answer choice that has that decimal that matches. So for us, we could try 196 and then control x squared square root of 3. Notice those decimals don't match, so I keep going. Now I would do the same thing, but this time I want to do 12 square root of 7. You don't want to keep typing the square root in. You can also arrow up, grab the previous answer choice and press enter. And then all you have to do is change the numbers. So there I would change that to 7, change this to 12, enter. That's 31 point. I need 48 points. So still not right. I need to keep going. So now I need 3 square root of 7. Do the same thing, grab that. I keep the 7, change it to a 3. Nope, that still doesn't match. So I'm going to keep going. Last one, 28 square root of 3. Enter. And that decimal does match the first one, which is why answer choice D is the correct answer. All right, so we're reviewing how to do all of our laws of exponents. On the left there, you'll see the law of exponent is already named for you. So this first one we're reviewing is multiplying with exponents. Whenever you multiply something with the same base, you are adding the exponents. So for instance, for x4 times x to the third, you're going to take those and add 4 plus 3 to get x7. On the second one, you're going to do the same thing. Now remember, when you have coefficients, you are going to do what you normally do. You're going to do -2 times 7. But for my a's, I'm going to add 5 plus 3. And for my b's, I'm going to add 2 plus 7. I'm going to find out what all that simplifies to. -2 times 7, -14. A is going to be 5 plus 3, which is 8. B is going to be 7 plus 2, which is going to be 9. Now, on the opposite end, next we're talking about dividing with exponents. So whenever you divide and you have the same base, you are subtracting the exponents. So in this first one, I have x7 and x4. That subtracted gives me x3. Now on this one on the bottom here, I have to pay attention that I'm keeping the same bases together. And when I subtract, if I end up with a negative exponent, that exponent needs to go onto the bottom. Now the coefficients, I'm still going to go ahead and divide those. So -7 divided by 21. In my calculator, it'll tell me it is -1/3. My a's, I will go ahead and subtract 2 minus 6. 2 minus 6 is -4. Since that gives me a negative exponent, I'm going to go ahead and put a to the 4th on the bottom. Now let's do our b's. 8 minus 3. That gives me b5. That is a positive exponent, so that goes on top. And there is our answer. Next is the power rule. Power rule says whenever you have an exponent on the outside of the parentheses, you will multiply it with the exponents on the inside. So for instance, on this first one, I got x to the 5th times x to the 3rd. X to the 5th to the 3rd power, I mean. What that means is I'm going to do x to the 5 times 3, which is x 15. Now on the second one here, I have a coefficient. What that means is that I'm going to have to do -2 to the second power. I'm going to put this in parentheses because when I put it in the calculator, I need to make sure I'm doing -2 squared, not just 2 squared. And then x 4 times 2 and y 3 times 2. -2 squared is 4, x 4 times 2 is 8, y 3 times 2 is 6. Now we are on to our negative exponent rules. Our rules for negative exponents is if I see a negative exponent, it goes to the bottom of the fraction. However, if my exponent is negative already on the bottom, then it moves to the top half of the fraction. So on x to the -4, I'm going to get 1 over x4, and that will be my final answer. There's nothing else I need to simplify. But on the second one here, first thing that I'm going to do is move these negative exponents. I'm not going to keep them where they're at. So this y -7, move down. X -6, move up. If you want, you can go ahead and divide those coefficients to give you 1/7. Your x's are now both on top, x2 and x6. Your y's are both on the bottom now, y3, y7. Since both x's are on top, you can add those to be x6 plus 2 is 8. On the bottom, we'll get 7, y, 10, and that is our final answer. Last one, 0 exponents. Whenever you have a 0 exponent, that means that you get the coefficient of 1. So anything raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. So for instance, everything in this parentheses is raised to the 0 power. That's why our final answer is 1. But on the second one here, only z is raised to the 0 power. So that means my final answer is just 9x3, y4. I don't need to include the 1 because anything times 1 is just itself. So that is why this is my final answer. Lastly, rational exponents. Basically, guys, that just means fractions. Whenever you have fractions, you're going to do the same rules as you did before. On this one here, we're still dividing. We're dividing, so that means we are subtracting our exponents. So our x's, we are going to do 4 minus 9, which gives me x -5. So our x's are going to be on the bottom. My y's, I'm going to do 1 minus 1/2 to give me y 1/2, meaning the y's are on top. Next, this time we have power of power rule. We're going to have 16 to the 1/2 power. We're going to have x to the 3 times 1/2 and y to the 6 times 1/2. So that means when I put 16 to the 1/2 in the calculator, I'm going to get 4. 3 times 1/2 is x to the 3/2 power, or x to the 1.5 power. And lastly, y to the 3rd power. All right, guys, that's it for exponents. Go work on your assignment in the module for today.